Okay, we've literally all seen it, right? You look at someone who started with absolutely nothing. We're talking no rich family to back them up, zero special connections, and definitely no perfect opportunities just magically dropping into their lap. Yet they somehow managed to build massive, undeniable success. And honestly, you can't help but wonder, how did they actually do that? Well, today in this explainer, we're unpacking the absolutely fascinating psychology behind exactly how this happens.
So, this brings us to the ultimate question. Why do some rise while others stay stuck? Seriously, why do two people starting from the exact same disadvantage, the exact same baseline of zero, end up in completely different stratospheres of life a few years later? One person stays stuck in the exact same place for decades, while the other just climbs continuously. Today we're going to completely unpack the exact mechanics of why that happens.
All right, let's dive into this. It is incredibly tempting to look at the massive success of a self-made person and just assume, oh, it's pure luck. In fact, evolutionary psychology tells us our brains actually default to calling it luck as a defense mechanism. It kind of protects our egos, you know? Because if they were just lucky, well, we don't have to feel bad about being stuck. But the reality is a whole different story. Rising from zero is rarely just luck. Success is driven by a very specific set of mental patterns. Escaping poverty and building lasting wealth, that requires a totally reconstructed internal framework, not some external lottery ticket.
Which brings us to Phase 1, shifting identity and reward.
Take a look at the left side here. That's the trapped mindset. For a lot of folks who stay stuck, poverty actually becomes a part of their core identity. They look around and internally conclude, well, people from my neighborhood just don't get rich. But over on the right, we have the growth mindset. People who successfully rise from zero actively decide that their self-image has to change way before their physical circumstances ever do. So their apartment and their bank account might stay exactly the same temporarily, but they completely shed the identity of poverty in their minds.
Because it really all boils down to this. Behavior usually follows identity. Just think about how incredibly powerful that psychological lever is. If you deeply identify as someone who's just destined to stay stuck, your daily behaviors are going to naturally guarantee that reality. But if you mentally discard that identity of poverty, your actions instinctively start aligning with growth. The internal shift always precedes the external reality.
And once that core identity shifts, a whole new set of behaviors emerges. One of the strongest predictors of long-term success is delayed gratification. People who build wealth from nothing meticulously train themselves to tolerate short-term discomfort for long-term gain. Think about it. In today's hyperfast culture of instant delivery and immediate dopamine hits, these folks are completely rewriting their relationship with rewards.
What's really interesting about this slide is seeing how that plays out. On the left, it's the ultimate trap, spending money to feel better right now. When you're stressed or feeling stuck, it is so tempting to buy that expensive designer bag today just to soothe the frustration of your current circumstances, right? But on the right, the wealth builder focuses on sacrificing temporary pleasure for future freedom. They are entirely comfortable skipping that flashy purchase to do the quiet, kind of unglamorous work of planting seeds for tomorrow. Consistently choosing future freedom over a quick fix creates a massive compounding advantage over time.
All right, moving right along to Phase 2, mastering emotions and risk. Now, I think there's this weird myth out there that highly successful people are just immune to the negative stuff. No way. They absolutely aren't. Fear, frustration, embarrassment, rejection. People who build wealth from zero feel every single one of these things. They experience crippling fear and stinging rejection just like you or me. The absolutely critical difference is they don't let these temporary emotional states hijack their long-term goals. They basically learn how to act without letting their emotions grab the steering wheel.
When the storm hits and the frustration really peaks, the natural human instinct is to just drop the whole shebang and quit. Honestly, it's the easiest way out of the stress. But notice the wealth builder on the right, staying consistent through emotional control. By keeping those temporary emotional spikes in check, they maintain a super even baseline. And it's this emotional control that keeps them putting in the work day after day while everyone else just packs up and goes home.
Let's move to the next part and see how this builds into an actual path forward. Step 1, face uncertainty. Step 2, take the risk. Step 3, uncover opportunity. To put that into perspective, our brains are literally hardwired by evolution to crave safety and predictability. We psychologically avoid uncertainty just to survive. Building wealth from zero, though, that demands overriding that basic programming. There are no guaranteed results here, and definitely no immediate rewards. But those who succeed financially train themselves to get deeply comfortable taking action before certainty even exists.
Okay, Phase 3, choosing skills over status.
Notice the clear divide here in where attention actually goes. On the left, it's the temptation to build a cardboard crown just to look the part on social media, chasing validation, buying expensive things just to fake the appearance of success. It's all about the image. But on the right, we have the true wealth builder's focus, becoming valuable first. This is the person quietly working away in the garage, actually building the engine. Instead of trying to look rich, they're pouring all their energy into acquiring high-level skills, completely ignoring the urge to just manage an image.
Because ultimately, skills create opportunities, and opportunities eventually create money. Genuine value creation is basically the actual cheat code for wealth. If you have the skills, you naturally generate the opportunities. The money is simply a byproduct of the undeniable value you've learned how to provide to the world. Actually, it's a completely different operating system than just chasing empty status.
And that brings us to Phase 4, the final mindset shift.
So let's bring this all together. First, you've got to rewrite your core identity. Literally shed the belief that you are destined to stay stuck. Second, delay your immediate gratification. Trade today's comfort for tomorrow's freedom. Third, master your emotional reactions so that fear and frustration don't derail you completely. Fourth, embrace absolute uncertainty, acting even when your brain is screaming for safety. And finally, relentlessly build valuable skills over chasing empty status. We really can't control our starting points in life, but adopting this specific psychological framework, that is entirely a choice you can make right now.
Which really just leaves us to ask, are you chasing the appearance of success or the psychology of it? Once you understand the hidden mechanics behind why some people rise from absolutely nothing while others stay stagnant, you start seeing your own choices very, very differently. Thank you for joining me on this explainer today, and hey, here is to building your own path upward. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.